Hello friends, I'm Rosa, welcome. So today we are talking about at least the releases that are being released during the first half of the year that I am super excited about. I never got to make a video like this and I'm so excited that I get to do it this year. I don't really know or remember why I didn't do one last year, at least I'm sure that I didn't. Maybe I'm misremembering. Anyway, but here we are. So we're going to talk about the books that are coming out from January to June that I am the most excited for. I will make sure to leave links to all of them in the description box if you want to check them out. I think I have, I can't remember, was it 13? 13, 14 total? So we'll be sitting here for a little bit. I hope you guys are comfortable. Enough chatter, let's get started talking about upcoming books. I'll also let you know if I've already pre-ordered them because I might have. At least with January and February releases. Okay, so first of all, on the 3rd of January, so it's already out, but we're gonna talk about it anyway, we have Loathe to Love You by Ali Hazelwood, which is not a book on its own per se, it's a compendium of, is that how you say that? It's a collection of these STEM novellas that she has been releasing over the past year. So they've combined them and put them into one. I haven't pre-ordered this one. I don't have it on my hands right now, or I have it in my collection right now. However, Illumicrate is doing a version that I know is going on sale for me tomorrow. So I'm gonna get my hands on it. I really love the Love Hypothesis. I thought it was great. I thought it was funny. I thought it was super self-aware. And although I have not read Love on the Brain yet, I'm very excited to also get my hands on Loathe to Love You. Also in an edition that's gonna fit with my other two, match with them, because I do have the Illumicrate editions. So then we have Hellbent, which came out on the 10th, so that is a week ago. This is the sequel to Ninth House, there by Leigh Bardugo. I read Ninth House, I think in 2021. I loved it. It was super weird. It was very strange. In this book, we follow a girl who has gone through something very terrible in her past and kind of just has like she's a bit of a, if I remember at least, she's a bit of a troublemaker, however has been brought to, is it Harvard or Yale? One of the two, like some kind of fancy university, by this group of people that are basically like, we'll make sure that you stay here, you gotta stay in classes, but you also gotta work for us. And what they do is they keep an eye on these like secret societies that do magic, sometimes magic that they're not supposed to be doing. So she's a part of this group that keep an eye on these societies and make sure that they don't overstep whatever rules are laid down for them. And then one night on campus, a girl dies, and her name is Alex, by the way, our lead girl. She is not willing to let this go because there is something about this death that is very superstitious to Alex, so she's just very set on figuring out what the heck is going on. Don't know what's going on in Hellbent, but I know that I have very, very many questions after reading Ninth House regarding a specific character as well that weren't answered. And so I'm hoping to get answers about it in Hellbent, but like, I don't know. Miss Bardugo could go in any direction. If it's anything like Ninth House, I will love it because I really, really enjoyed that book. But also a disclaimer, it's definitely not for everyone because I have read a lot of people thinking that it was very weird. Then in February, we have Song of Silver Flame Like Night, which is by Emily Wen Zhao. They also wrote Blood Air and, you know, those books. I forgot what that series is called. The US edition actually comes out here in January, but the UK one, and I'm from Europe, so those are the ones that are easy for me to access. That one comes out in February, so I also know a book box is doing it, so I've already kind of pre-ordered it. And not really, but like it's being delivered with the box. So I'm gonna count that down as a pre-order. So it's the first one in a new fantasy series by the author, and the first line is literally just to sum it up. Like this is the shortened plot. The shortened synopsis. In a fallen kingdom, one girl carries the key to discovering the secrets of her nation's past and unleashing the demons that sleep at its heart. So it's inspired by Chinese mythology and also folklore. And I'm very excited. I have heard that the world building in this is beautiful, so I'm very excited to experience that. On the 16th, we have The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi, which I've heard so many good things about. People that got access to arcs of it have been raving about it. This is Roshani Chokshi usually writes, at least in my experience, young adult, has also dabbled in middle grade as far as I'm aware, but this is actually an adult book and as far as I can remember is also horror, so it's like adult fantasy horror. Sounds like a good mix. It says a sumptuous gothic-infused story about a marriage that is unraveled by dark secrets, a friendship cursed to end in tragedy, and the danger of believing in fairy tales. So I remember this is also supposedly gothic, and yes, there is a romance in it. And I don't know, I want the vibes from this one, I think. As far as I have heard, the vibes are good. So I'm excited for it. On the 23rd of February, we have City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaeffer, which I also know is coming in a book box. So technically, that I've already paid for, by the way. So technically, I've pre-ordered it. Technically. Oh, I did pre-order The Last Tale of the Flower Bride, by the way. I did that very suddenly, all of like one day I was just like, I'm gonna pre-order it right now. And I did. City of Nightmares is... It was summed up to me by someone else as like chaotic. A girl, a human, is in this city where stuff is just happening. Like there's all kinds of monsters around her, there's a lot of drama happening, there's a lot of like not good things happening, and she's just kind of caught in the middle of it. So I thought it sounded so good. I thought it sounded so chaotic. Something about vampires as well. I can't remember if there's a romance in it, but there probably is. It's young adult fantasy. I've always thought it was dangerous for books to be marketed as like this thing mixed with another thing, but this literally says Gotham meets Strange the Dreamer, and I don't know how to not be interested in that. So that sounds, first of all, like a very funny mix, but also I love superheroes and I also love Strange the Dreamer. This is Muse of Nightmares. She's right over there, but I love it. So I'm very excited to get my hands on it. They better do a beautiful edition of it because I don't know about that cover. But yeah, we got politics and monsters and fears, and a girl is just caught in the middle of it, so bring on the chaos, I suppose. On the 28th, we have, also of February, we have A Day of Fallen Night, and this is by Samantha Shannon. It's kind of a prequel to The Priory of the Orange Tree. It takes place several, I think is it 200 years before? I can't remember. It's probably much longer than that before Priory takes place. But we do follow some characters that I believe are mentioned in the history that is mentioned in The Priory of the Orange Tree. If you've read the book, there's a lot of world building in that one and a lot of like explaining what's going on or what's happened in the past to lead up to this point. They've explained some events that have gone down as well in the past, and if this book has, as far as I believe, it has something to do with one of the events that they're actually talking about in Priory. So I am very excited because I really loved Priory. If we take away the ending and just, or maybe add like 30 pages on to the ending, it would have been a full-on 5 stars. I think I ended up possibly giving it like 4.8 just because the ending was wrapped up very quickly, but I loved it still, so I'm very excited for A Day of Fallen Night. I was lucky to get one of the sets from the Broken Binding that sold out in like, I don't even know. I think general sale was over within like 8 minutes in Europe or something like that, like 3 minutes in the US, so I managed, I don't know how, but I did it, so I'm very excited for them to arrive at some point. Maybe in February, but we'll see. And then we're moving on to March. Oh, this one I actually got access to today. So on the 2nd of March, The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi. Al-Sirafi? I don't know how to pronounce her name, but it's coming out on the 2nd of March. I just got access, or my request for the ARC was approved today, so I'll be reading that in February. We follow I can't remember if she's the mother, but we follow a woman and also a child. I think it's her daughter, so we have some family bonds there, but they're pirates. Just to sum it up, it's the start of a new trilogy. It's by S.A. Chakraborty, or Shannon Chakraborty. It says they spin a new trilogy of magic and mayhem on the high seas in this tale of pirates and sorcerers, forbidden artifacts and ancient mysteries in one woman's determined quest to seize a final chance at glory and write her own legend. So she's like gone through a lot in her years, Amina, including becoming a mom. And then one day is approached or contacted by someone who wants her to, for a lot of money by the way, retrieve a kidnapped daughter. And so our girl, or woman, I should probably say, our lead woman, who has been going through a lot, has gone through a lot of things, sees this as an opportunity to kind of prove herself again. So yeah, I'm very excited. Also, the cover, the US cover, is stunning. Like, the art piece on it is stunning. I'm hoping to get access to the Fairy Loot one, even though it's the UK cover, but we'll see about it. I do have sort of a deal with a friend of mine, so we'll see if it works out. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna have to pre-order the US one because it's so gorgeous, but I'm very excited to read it as well here in February. So then also in March, we have the Foxglove King by Hannah Witten, the author of For the Wolf, and you can't even see it, I'm pointing towards it. But For the Wolf, this one is pitched as a lush and romantic fantasy series, the start of one, and it says a young woman's secret power to raise the dead plunges her into the dangerous and glamorous world of the sainted king's royal court. So we have some forbidden romance in this one, we have the power to raise the dead, which okay, cool. Awesome, I respect it. Keep it away from me, but I respect it. And sounds a bit like there'll be some court intrigue and some court drama as well and stuff like that. So people are in general very, very hyped about this one. I hope that the hype stays, but like I hope it doesn't fall flat. I hope it lives up to the hype is what I'm trying to say, but we'll see. Then in April, we have Divine Rivals, which is by Rebecca Ross. I very much enjoyed A River Enchanted, which I read here in December, so I'm trying to keep an eye on some of her books. This one is a young adult fantasy, I believe, with some magic and also some romance in there. So the synopsis for this one says, after centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again, but 18-year-old Iris Winnow just wants to hold her family together. Her mother is suffering from addiction and her brother is missing from the front lines. Her best bet is to win the columnist promotion at the Loathe Gazette. To combat her worries, Iris writes letters to her brother and slips them beneath her wardrobe door, where they vanish into the hands of Roman Kit, her cold and handsome rival at the paper. When he anonymously writes Iris back, the two of them forge a connection that will follow Iris all the way to the front lines of battle for her brother, the fate of mankind, and love. When two young rival journalists find love through a magical connection, they must face the depths of hell in a war among gods to seal their fate forever. It's like Divine Rivals. You get it? Okay. It says it's Shadow and Bone meets lore. It's an enemies to lovers fantasy novel, and there's hope and heartbreak and pen pals. At least I hope. I really like the pen pal thing. I think it's cute. I think it's funny. Also one of the reasons I'm very excited to read The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy at some point. But I think it's very, very cute. Especially when it's like two people that hate each other in real life and then they write and it's like they just get along so well. Like, why are you hating in real life then? You know, like you vibe with each other. Come on. So I'm looking forward to it. Also in April, we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. I have read Beach Read. I do own People We Meet on Vacation and also Book Lovers, but I loved Beach Read so much that they've gone to my list of books that I'm saving for rainy days, even though I never read those books. They're my backup books for when I feel very sad and I just really need to read good books. I have a list of those, so I never get to read those ones because they're the ones that I really, really want to read. But anyway, I'm pretty sure Happy Place is going to end up on that list as well, which is very fitting because that list is basically like the books that'll bring me to my happy place, you know? Not to sound cheesy, but anyway. But the shortened version of the synopsis for this one is a couple who broke up months ago make a pact to pretend to still be together for their annual week-long vacation with their best friends in this glittering and wise new novel from Emily Henry. So a second chance with forced proximity and fake dating. Yes. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but fake dating and forced proximity is like one of the best combinations ever. It's so effective. If you throw a little bit of enemies to lovers in there, oof, you got yourself a perfect combination. But I don't know how that's gonna work with fake dating, so like, but fake dating and forced proximity, creme de la creme. We also have Cursed Crown by Catherine Weber and Catherine Doyle, which is the sequel to Twin Crowns. It's coming out on the 27th of April as well. Did I say 27th? 27th. Yeah, anyway. So hopefully picking up where Twin Crowns left off. In that one, we follow two girls that are twins, and they're technically both princesses. However, one of them has been taken away from the castle when they were young and been taken to the witches, whereas the other princess is still in the castle and being a princess, doing princessy things. But then, as we start out the book, she gets kidnapped, the princess gets kidnapped, and in her place, the now witch princess has to act like her, which of course is gonna, you know, just make some trouble. There's gonna be some issues there because she doesn't really know what life is like at the castle, and there are visitors and stuff such as the fiance that she had no idea existed, and there's a very charming bodyguard as well and stuff like that. Meanwhile, our princess is being taken to the witches who don't treat her very well, which is understandable because witches are very much looked down upon in this world. They are considered dangerous and killed as well, to put it bluntly, just for being witches. And so while she's there, she might learn a little bit about them and actually see that they're not as bad as people are telling her that they are. So, and what happens when the girl at the castle, the witch, is actually busted for not being the princess and, you know, all that stuff. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was very classic, fast-paced, fun YA. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they're going with the sequel, especially because, like, come back. You know, come back. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say. On the 30th of May, we have Witch King by Martha Wells. So I have been introduced to Martha Wells now because she wrote Murderbot. I have read the Murderbot Diaries. I have read the first one, which I thought was so cool. I think Murderbot is like genuinely one of my new favorite characters. Very sarcastic, very awkward, very introverted, and then a robot. I don't know, it's a super good combination. But the shortened version of the, or like the little blurb instead of the full synopsis says, from the breakout SFF superstar author of Murderbot comes a remarkable story of power and friendship, of trust and betrayal, and of the families we choose. So we got some found family in there. It says, quote, I didn't know you were a ... demon. And then, you idiot. I'm the demon. Kai's having a long day in Martha Wells' Witch King. So I'm expecting humor filled with a funny world, or an interesting world, I want to say, and then action. That's what I'm expecting because that's kind of what I got like a little bit of in the first one of the Murderbot Diaries. It's a novella. It's a very short story. I think it's like 140 pages total or something. So I'm looking forward to having like a full book, if you get what I mean, even if there's no Murderbot in it. I'm still looking forward to it. And then on the 8th of June, we have Never a Hero by Vanessa Len, which is the sequel to Only a Monster, which I really enjoyed. It came out early last year, January 2022. And so in this one, we follow a girl who doesn't know it, but is actually related to and also is a monster. So her family has the power to steal time from people and then time travel with that time. And so, of course, they're not, because they're stealing people's time, like taking time off of people's lives. So they are the monsters in the story. They're not the good people. And we also have a monster hunter in it who is hunting her family and herself, and then we have like a rival monster family who can do something else. And all these people come together in the story where there's time travel included, monster hunters, and kind of great characters, although I will say that our lead girl is, I wouldn't say she's mean, but like she's not the good person still. And also a lot of questions at the end of book one, actually. Forbidden romance a little bit, but at the same time, also like a love triangle looming, but not really. You know, I liked it a lot. I thought it was very entertaining, so I'm looking forward to seeing what she's gonna do with Never a Hero. What was it? On the 8th of June, I think? Yes. And the last one, very fitting, is also an Ali Hazelwood, which is Love Theoretically. That's really difficult for me to say, apparently. Love Theoretically. I know that some people have said about this that it's kind of like, okay, she's going for the love hypothesis formula again. I honestly don't mind. Like, I think it works. If we have a different scene, slightly different tropes, even if the characters are kind of like, I don't mind too much. I'm easily entertained. I still have not read Love on the Brain, so like I can't really compare it to the Love Hypothesis, but I don't mind if we're still in the same kind of setting with students, or, you know, not students, but PhD people, you know, all that, like clever people, intelligent people. I don't mind. That's what I'm gonna call them from now on, just intelligent people. I don't mind, because I'm sure that it's not gonna be the exact same. Like, the Love Hypothesis was like a teacher-student fake dating thing, and as far as I know, Love on the Brain is a little bit more like rivals, so we already have a different chemistry there as it is. As for Love Theoretically, it does say rival physicists collide in a vortex of academic feuds and fake dating shenanigans in this delightfully STEMness rom-com from Ali Hazelwood. So might be a bit of a mix of the two. I don't mind still. Like, I don't mind. I really don't mind. I think it's gonna be fun. I will be reading Love on the Brain before deciding fully if I want to go into it, or if I want my hands on it, but I'm honestly expecting me to, because I'm very easily entertained, so. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of situations these two characters are gonna end up in. So anyway, those were my, how many books were that? I'm gonna count. I think it was 13, 14, possibly 14. So if you're looking forward to any of the books as well, let me know. If there are any other ones that I've not mentioned that you're really looking forward to, also let me know. Please put them on my radar, because I would love to add more books to my list over anticipated releases. But that's all I got for you guys today. So again, all the books are linked in the description box if you want to check them out. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, but also videos like bookish unboxings and wrap-ups and readathons and TBR videos and all the other booktube stuff, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button. But I'm gonna leave you to it now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Oh, you know, you're beautiful.